What I thought we would do today is take 10 minutes and go through a quick sort of limber up. So we'll go through as many body parts as we can in quick succession. And it's something that you could do maybe at the start of the day or the end of the day, just to kind of free your body up if it's feeling stiff, if it's needing a little bit of love. And then after that, we'll get into some really deep stretches. We'll spend a good bit of time on those so we can get the most out of them. All right. So we'll need a little bit of space and a keen eyeball. All right, we're going to use a clock here just to keep us right. And that way we're not aiming for certain reps or anything. We'll just go for 30 seconds on each of these and see how we get on. So we'll start off up on our feet. Going to have our legs nice and locked. We're going to pike over and then squat down. And as we pike over, we're trying to keep our legs straight. As we squat down, you might want to let your heels lift a little bit. Let's go for 30 seconds. Off we go. It's a nice dynamic movement. We're giving that body an opportunity to move through its full range of motion. Allow the nerves to relax a little bit and the muscles to get warm. And relax. Okay, then we'll go feet nice and wide. And from there, we're going to hinge ourselves over and set one hand on the floor. From there, we'll reach on up towards the sky, and we might swap over hands. If we can't reach the floor, that's okay. We can do the same thing without reaching all the way down. Let's go for 30 seconds. Trying to keep your legs nice and straight here, really challenging that groin. Rotating that spine, pulling the shoulders back. And relax. Keep the feet nice and wide if you can. We're going to reach behind us and then reach in front of us. So the lower back is going to stay nice and low. I'm going to move here to there. Let's go for 30 seconds. 3, 2, 1, off we go. Just letting those shoulders get nice and warm. Feel the groin working hard. Hamstrings working as well. Opening up that spine a little bit. And relax. Nice. All right, so from there, we're going to go similar position, but try and get a little bit more into our calf, more into our hamstrings. So feet are still wide, but hands are on the floor now. We're going to walk back so the bum is up nice and high, and challenge those heels to go down to the floor, okay? So you might find your heels have to lift in order to get into position. That's okay. If you're able to get all the way in with your heels down, then we'll go closer together with your feet and kind of do a little wiggle. Feeling those calves, ankles, back of the knee. We're just going for about 30 seconds. Just a little wiggle, almost like a twerk. Nice, trying to flatten out your back as best you can. And relax. Cool. So We'll go then onto the floor, or you can stay standing for this as well if you want. We'll go with our shoulders like a bounce and a bounce, so we're alternating position, one hand up, one hand down, and we'll just go for our 30. Just open up those shoulders. So we've hit that lower body pretty hard. We're now going to get into the upper body and the sort of sides and hips. Just trying to get those arms through their full range of motion. Nice. All right, and now we'll take a seat on the floor. We'll go into your straddle. So our legs are spread, aiming for about 90 degrees. And in an ideal world, we're going to lock our knees. But if we find that we're kind of slouched over, you're probably going to have them slightly bent, because our goal here is to reach up and over to the side, each direction. Okay, if you can do that straight legs, that's cool. We'll go for 30 seconds, trying to have the shoulder inside the knee as we reach up and over. Freeing up those arms, getting the hips all moving. Nice. Because we're just working for time here, you can work at your own speed.
Continue to do that.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Cool. So, we're going to go from that pancake position now onto our back. So we're lying on our back, arms out at the side, and from there, you're going to bring one foot up to touch your hand. I need to move a little bit. Up to touch your hand. Notice how my hip came up off the floor, and even this hand might come up off the floor. We'll go for 30 seconds. Just bringing your foot up as close to your hand as you can. Even if the leg bends, that's probably okay. Just limbering up, moving. Rotating that spine. Getting into that lower back, into the bum. All up across the body. Nice. And then we'll go 2 more stretches, and that's basically the whole body done. This next one, again, we're on our bum. We're going to reach one leg out to the side and tuck it in, so we're in our hurdler stretch. You might need to sit up on a couple of cushions for this. You're going to grab your toe basically and pull it back and yourself down as far as you can. You could even grab the edge of a seat if you really needed to. Just do 30 on each side. You okay there, Joe? Just really trying to get the ankle stretched out here, pulling that toe back as far as possible. Feeling the calf. Getting yourself down low if you can. We'll change over legs. Nice, same idea, pulling that foot back. Getting deep into that calf, even hitting hamstring and groin here, a little bit of quad. Nice, it's always good to hear some heavy breathing when you're stretching. last one we'll do, we're going to try and combine one last shoulder stretch with a bit of the front of the legs. So we're going to kneel on the floor. You can tuck your toes under or have them pointed, whatever you're comfortable with. And then from there we're bringing a hand to the floor behind you. We're trying to pinch those shoulders back, lift that chest up nice and high. And get that nice shoulder extension stretch and also a bit of quad stretch as we open up those hips. So, hopefully now the limbs are feeling a little bit freer. Your joints are ready to do some hard work. So we're going to go and get into some deep, deep stretches. We're going to look at 3 main stretches. We're going to look at front splits, middle splits, and then bridge. So, just to give you a rough picture of what we're kind of building towards. With our front splits, we're talking that direction. With our middle splits, we're talking that direction. And with our bridge, we're looking at that direction. So, let's start off with the easy one. That's going to be our front split. We're going to get ourselves into a nice deep lunge, aiming for our foot and knee to be as far apart here as possible. You can do this alongside me. Nice. From there, we're going to try and have our hands on the floor beside our foot. We'll straighten out that front leg, get that nice hamstring stretch. I say nice. Might feel uncomfortable. That's it, Joe, trying to reach that body further forward. And then we'll come back up into our lunge and this time move our foot further forward. Still trying to hit that same idea where we're pushing our hip forward, stretching all down the front of that leg, bit of hamstring as well. Then we'll get the hands on the floor. Straighten out your front leg, get that hamstring stretch. Nice. And then the next step is to get into as good a front split position as we can. So for some of us, we'll be able to just like go down and hold. For others, we might need to get something on either side of us, be that some kind of chair or a small dog, whatever you want to push down heavily on, that's totally up to you. Okay, we're going to be going for about 30 seconds in a hold. Okay, all right, 3, 2, 1, and hold. As deep a position as you can muster. You're trying to push your front heel down hard. Trying to push your back hip forward as much as possible. So we're squaring off those hips. We're building strength in this position.
Oh.
7, 8, 9, and relax. Ease yourself back out of that.
Oh.
How tough was that, guys?
Tough.
Toughish. Okay, cool. Let's do the other side. Same process. If you need to grab yourself some sort of moral or physical support, do that now before we start into it. We're going to be starting off with our nice big lunge, trying to push those hips forward as far as we can. Working that stretch all up the hip, up the quad. And then we'll go hands on the floor, straighten out that front leg. Maybe even pull the toes back, get bonus stretch. And then we'll come back up, move that foot further forward. So we're deeper into a lunge. Getting that torso nice and upright, we're going to really push down those hips. And hold there, opening up that hip a little bit. Getting comfortable with our legs being as wide as possible. And then hands back on the floor, stretch out that front leg.
Oh.
Yeah, it's going to get spicy. And then we'll go down into our deepest position possible, and we're going to hold there. So that front leg stays locked. Back hip as squared as possible, and we'll go for our 30 seconds. That's it, working hard down there. Hamstrings should be on fire, hips on fire.
Totally. Flaming.
Yeah, you got it. Halfway. Keep pushing, keep working. Letting your body get strong. 3, 2, 1, and relax. Lovely job. Sound like a bunch of deep sea divers there. Their deep breath. Alright, so we're going to leave front splits for now. We're going to move ourselves on then to middle splits. And we'll do a similar idea. We'll do some supported work first, and then we're going to try and support ourselves in that position with our groin. So, supported work. Again, you might want to use a chair for this or some kind of raised platform. I'm able to get my legs quite wide, so I'm just going to use the floor. And the idea here is we're going to go like on our elbows with our legs as wide as possible. If possible, we're also going to try and keep our soles of our feet on the floor. It's worth taking a look at your position and seeing if you can get your hips right in between your feet, not forward, not behind, but right in the middle. Nice. Now we'll take a little rest. We'll wiggle the feet back in. This time we'll go out, we'll try and go a little bit further. I've just realised how slippy this floor is. I'm a little bit concerned that I might not return. I might just get stuck in a position here tonight. We'll see. That's it, supporting your weight through your arms, but letting yourself get a really deeply uncomfortable stretch. Not a painful stretch, but a deeply uncomfortable one. And relax. Ease yourself out of that. Now, with this supported position, we can keep our body over at that sort of 90-degree mark. But what I find is a little bit more effective is if we keep our torso upright, it's not going to allow us to go as deep, but it's going to give us the confidence that we can catch ourselves easier. So we're going to be up on our feet. We're going to be thinking about pulling our feet together. Okay, so go as wide as you can support while staying upright. You'll see here I've got a little bit of moral support for when I need it. We're going to do our 30 seconds again, just like we did with our front splits. Starting in 3, 2, 1, and begin. Really working that groin, trying to pull your feet together. Really challenging, work hard, building that strength. There's halfway. Nice, keep that body nice and upright. 5, 3, 2, 1. Ease yourself out. Oh my goodness. Whew. Lower body feeling like it's been working hard?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool. Okay, so we now come to possibly the hardest of our 3 bits of mobility, our bridge. The reason why it's hard is because it requires our spine to extend, and since we spend most of our lives in this position, which is flexed, we're now demanding it to move that way. So that's challenging. Also requires our shoulders to have great range of motion, as well as a lot of strength. And yeah, just a lot of things going on. So we're going to go through this in a few different build-ups. Okay, the first little build-up we'll do, we're going to be on our back. And from there, we're going to place our hands beside our ears. Okay, notice how my elbows pointed up at the roof. For you guys who are working on your front rack position, you'll notice that this is quite similar. We're just pushing our hands backwards into the floor, like so. You can give that a go. This is where I'm going to do more observing and less doing. Okay, cool. Nice. Nice. Especially for the lads, you might find slightly wider hand position. So instead of being in close to your ears, maybe a bit further out will help. Then again, it might feel worse. So, from there, we're going to try to lift the hips up off the floor and get a little bit of push. Okay, maybe try 5 to 10 pushes. Just trying to get those shoulders up off the floor a smidge. And Sarah, if you could tilt that camera down a little bit so I can see, that would be phenomenal. Oh yes, hello. Lovely. Hey, nice. Can you get your head off as well, Sarah? Oh yes. Cool. Good, Joe. Nora, I'm seeing your knees. Your knees look lovely. I'm not seeing much else.
Right. Can you see any better now?
Not even slightly. While Nora's fixing herself there, Andy, what's happening with you?
Not much.
Not much movement.
I don't have the strength, I don't think, all the mobility.
Okay. I saw your bum move, that was cool. Wonder, Andy, do you have a couple of books handy?
Not books.
No.
Cushions, yes. Books, no.
That's okay, no worries.
Do you think trying it with a bit of height, because I can try that later on?
Yeah, I think what we'll maybe try is actually lifting your feet up rather than your hands. And that'll probably go for... Sarah, you're probably okay doing what you're doing. I think your upper body seems to be a lot better than your lower body. Joe will probably use higher feet as well. Yeah, cool. And then Nora, if you can get your elbows up in the air.
Like that?
Aye, so your hands are flat on the floor?
Well, they're as flat as I can make them. They're not totally flat, but the fingers are flat, but the palms are not. Oh, maybe. There.
Okay, we'll come back to that one, Nora. We'll come back to that one. All right, so here's my chair. Lovely. Fantastic.
Oh.
What we're going to try is to get ourselves up on the chair or sofa. Now, this is the exciting part of mobility, as in there's a high level of danger. So if you're not feeling comfortable, don't do it. All right, but if you are feeling comfortable, then give it a go. We're going to try to get our bum onto the seat and our feet over the end. So we're sitting on it the wrong way around. From there, what we would do is tuck our bum into the corner and reach ourselves back. Oh, I just cracked my back like 6 times. That was awesome. So already we're getting a nice stretch through that upper back. And what we could do from there is try to place our hands on the floor. So we're supporting our weight with the seat, but we're able to push into the floor a little bit and start to load our shoulders. So if you feel comfortable to try that, give it a go, see what you can do. And if you're not, that's okay, Nora. I want to take a closer look at what you were attempting before, because that looked horrendous.
Okay. Where do you want me to put this iPad?
iPad's fine where it is. So where I want your hands, Nora, okay? If I'm lying on the floor at the moment, I want your hands that way around. So your fingers are touching your shoulders, your elbows are up. Not out to the side.
Shall I lie down?
Not out to the side. Up in front.
Like that?
Yes, that's the one.
Like that?
Lovely.
So lie down?
Yep, that's the one. And then push those hands down. Cool. You okay there, Joe?
Like that?
I don't really have a chair.
What have you got?
Bed here.
You got your bed?
Yeah.
Your bed will do the job. Yeah.
No handles all on my head with.
That's okay. You can get further up your back and then wiggle backwards. So if you get your bum in closer to the wall.
Yep.
Yeah, there you go. And then, yes. Now you're cooking, Joe. Look at that. Andy, that looks wonderful. Can you get your hands wider? Yes, and then squeeze your elbows towards each other. Nice. And then try and push your palms into the floor a little bit. Yes. I'm sure that feels like garbage, but it looks really good. Nice. And once you kind of had to mess around for that for a minute or two, give yourself a rest. Sarah, you're muted at the moment, so I won't be able to hear, but how was that?
Alright, looking for the mute button. Yeah, that was actually fine.
You felt like you were able to take a bit of weight through your hands?
And especially to stretch out my neck, I could feel it sort of relaxing a bit as I was stretched over the sofa.
Yes.
That was kind of nice.
Lovely. Cool. Well, that in itself, being able to almost relax the upper body off the edge of something can be really, really cool, because it's not a position, it's a hard position to get into. Especially when we do like cobra stretch and stuff, sometimes your lower back gets tight when we do that. Really the step from there, once you're getting comfortable getting off the edge of something, then we would keep our feet elevated, and from there push on up and start to load weight over those wrists that way. And that helps kind of get over our upper back being quite so tight. And then the final step would be to have our feet on the floor, but that's probably way down the line, and that's totally cool. Totally not a problem. There's loads of benefit to be had from that extension in the first place. Okay. Now, if you have any questions or you want to revisit any of those topics, let's do that now. Or if you've had your fill of mobility, that's totally cool. We can leave it there.
My neck's definitely feeling better.
Well, that's good, Sarah. Happy days. Neck pain-free. Nice. Cool. Happy to leave it there, Joe?
Yeah, it's been great. Thank you.
Nice.
Question. Why is it more of a more difficult to do it with feet? Like I find it more difficult to do it with feet elevated than just on the ground.
So for you, you're more mobile than you are strong. I'm sorry, you're more flexible than you are strong. So you're able to go through a very large range of motion, but that's flexibility. Mobility is your ability to work in that range of motion. So there's a gap between here and here. This is where your joints can go to, but this is where you can support load through your joints. So if we were to load you there, you're more likely to get hurt. We want to get you strong right up to this point. Okay, so you're strong right at your end range of motion. So for you, lifting your entire body weight while your feet are up in the box is quite hard, whereas doing it from the floor is much easier.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's less load when you're on the floor, but you're able to get into a better position when you're up in the box.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So we think about a snatch. If you go to stick a weight up over your head with a bar, we want people to be able to do a full dislocate, at least with a brush shaft, if not a loaded brush shaft, before a barbell goes up there, because as you've experienced, B, if that bar does go behind you, you're either going to dislocate your shoulder, or you're going to have to let go and hope that it doesn't catch on something. So that's
Good. Flexible.
part of the part of the reason why that dislocate is so important. Anyway, slight sidetrack there, but hopefully you got some value from that, and I hope you have a great sleep tonight.
Thank you.
Cool.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye bye. Good night.
Good night.